So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. FOMC day. I don't know if anything that we do this morning matters, but I mean, the market does look like it's moving and moving pretty good here, well below yesterday's lows. So let's come and look at the charts here. Zoom in a bit, or we've been zoomed out. Yeah, so yesterday they pushed to new all-time highs, but then after we left, they really fell apart later in the day, and now in the Asian session and overnight, pretty ugly. So yeah, that's interesting. Also, you know, showing there's a big spike up there in the ES and Q spread. It was getting decimated earlier, so yesterday. So looks like those NASDAQ tech stocks fell real hard, huh? Over in the treasuries, pushing lower once again. It just doesn't stop, does it? You know, are we going to come back and look at this here in the treasuries? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Boom. This move right here, are we going to look back at that as like, oh, this was the easiest continuation play ever? Because that's what it's turning into. Okay, oil also struggling here. Although it's been struggling for a couple of days, you know, but oh, sorry, that's not oil. Oil's been struggling a little bit here, right? But overall, maybe it's just sideways, but yeah. And then we've got the gold here. I don't know if you could hear the squawk, but he was really loud for some reason today. What the hell? Turn that down. Okay. Anyways, gold and silver had a good little, you know, bump, kind of like a cup and handle thing going on here, but they're going to wait for the FOMC. So we'll see. Maybe FOMC ends up being really good for gold and silver. We'll see. Copper's still kind of going sideways and struggling as well. So when I see copper going sideways like this, that makes me concerned overall. And we can get rid of this chart. I don't need that anymore. And over here in the currencies, well, the dollar has been showing some dollar strength, but it's actually quite constrained. So clearly the currency's waiting on the FOMC. So now that we've got through that incredibly disjointed market overview, man, you know what? The problem is I am just tired because the baby decided that he wanted to play in the middle of the night. So I am tired. Okay. And we got our Texas speech working again today. Good deal. Pelosi says zero tolerance for behavior in Kumo allegations. Why has he not resigned yet? Trump warns border crisis will, quote-unquote, get much worse. As Biden pleads with migrants, don't come over. Yeah, that's a little bit too late, don't you think? UBS former Fed Chair Greenspan once declared, "I know you think you understand what you thought I said, but I'm not sure you realize what you heard is not what I meant." Greenspan is no longer Fed chair, and so the dot plot was invented to replace that confusion. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sure that Powell won't say anything that affects the markets today when he does the press conference. Ugh. Biggest banks plan to distribute stimulus money on Wednesday? I know a lot of people that already got it. Well, don't tell me if you got your stimulus, but I know a lot of people that already got it. Oh, you know what else we didn't do was the Bitcoins. I'm betting they sounded bullish. No, actually back below 5,500. You know, anytime that I see a big move in treasuries, going back to this chart, anytime that I see a big move in treasuries ahead of the FOMC, that raises big flags. But look at the ZB, just got decimated yesterday and overnight. The ZN, it's not as dramatic, is it? Oh, this is not the most recent data. There we go. I was like, what? But even still, like the when you look at the spread here, ZB, it's steepening a little bit between the 10 and the 30. And it's even more dramatic between the 2 and 10. And then I don't have a spread here on 5s, but I bet 5 versus 30 is like really extreme. Because here, the 5s haven't hit new lows yet, right? ZB has hit new lows easy. Easy. So there's definitely steepening going on. UK Prime Minister Johnson says, I will be having the AstraZeneca vaccine myself. Okay. This is kind of becoming a funny storyline about which which vaccine are you going to get? You know what else is interesting? Hey, good morning, Bill. Good morning, Smoker. Another interesting thing here in the treasuries is I would say liquidity is pretty okay in the treasuries now. 3,000, that's pretty average. Once you start getting into 4 and 5, that's above average, right? But equities still seem a little lackluster to me. So I guess part of that is probably my measure of liquidity, just looking at each price, probably not as effective as it used to be because we're so much higher, right? Like if we're double what we were before, the liquidity is going to be different. What are you saying about market making, Guzzi? I need to sit up straight. Okay, so we did get there the core inflation rate month over month. Oh, year over year, 1.2, month over month, 5 versus expected 7. That's the Canadian numbers, and building permits down 10.8% versus a previous reading of 10.7%. The other direction. This is just getting all crazy all over the place. Oh, make a market for vaccines. Is that what it is? Yeah. Well, it makes you wonder about this blood clot thing. Like, how can it be that there's a suspected blood clot thing, but then everybody's like downplaying it and doesn't think it's really a thing? You know, like it seems like some shenanigans going on there one way or another. Democrat senator demands a new investigation into Kavanaugh. Give me a break. That's so funny. The results of yesterday. You know what? I didn't talk about that. We should talk about that too. Yesterday in the 10-year. Note that going into the auction, they were bidding things up pretty hard, right? And then just before the auction, it really dipped. But the auction was strong, and that spiked us up hard. And then since then, it's trailed back down, and then we got this big bender. There was a huge concession in the hours leading up to this sale, but that turned out to be the wrong move as demand was unexpectedly strong in the 20-year auction. It's kind of weird. And Hugh finally cooperated. Yeah, I mean everything ended down yesterday. And I didn't even really necessarily see a reason for it. You can see also here in the charts. I keep talking about yesterday. Yesterday was just a really interesting day, wasn't it? You see all this right here? So when we left at 9:30, we left at 9:30, right? So when we left at 9:30, they were starting to turn down. So then they turned down and it was pretty ugly. And then here was the bond auction. So all of that slipperiness right there, all of those squares, bond auction. Okay. So bond auction was good, but then after that, they completely fell out of bed. And then here in the pre-market, they push even lower. Weird short squeeze. Well, that was the auction. They had every reason to be buying it because unexpectedly strong demand in the 20-year is really good. It means that maybe the Federal Reserve really can get away with keeping rates low. But now the market is falling apart. What is it that they're looking at? Well, there is some stuff going on, like the Asian sessions aren't good either. Okay, so let's not assume that it's all us. But it could be that they're expecting something from the Federal Reserve that's not necessarily positive, you know? Wonder if, what the 10-year will do now from here on out, if they're going to recover all of that or what. I bet you, though, market makers are going to be really reluctant to hold things, though. Crypto broker Bitcoin Suisse pulls its application for a banking license in Switzerland after a regulator flagged potential weakness in the firm's money laundering defenses. Quad witching this Friday. Well, there's that too, but man, I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. Did you know that vaccine skepticism is higher in Europe than it is in the United States? That I was not expecting that. Hence why the United States is opening back up and Europe is still locked down. Well, any hopes for the ZN to come up there? It's not doing it yet. Pretty happy at 18.5, it seems. I'm kind of questioning if we even get trades today before the FOMC. Well, I usually get at least one good one. So no trading until FOMC? Well, yeah, I mean, if it operates, well, look at that. That was some pretty good two upticks. I look away for a second. Upticks too on almost nothing, right? But I mean, if an opportunity presents itself, and maybe it's presenting itself here in the 10-year, we could do it. I just think it's a little questionable, right? The markets are definitely kind of stuck until that happens. The one thing I am seeing, the place where I do see opportunities that we had a pretty bearish overnight move. So maybe some of that unwinds, because I can't really pinpoint a specific reason why so bearish. But I dismiss the notion that he had somehow encouraged migrants to flood over the border with his rollback of Trump's tough on immigration policies. Oh my gosh. Like, how can anybody take them seriously when they say stuff like this? We're doing everything. That's a funny comment. Earlier this week, Biden's press secretary Jen Psaki told reporters that the administration is doing everything it can to dam the flood of immigrants. We recognize this as a problem. We're focused on addressing it. That's just 5 steps we're taking, and we're continuing to evaluate what additional steps can be taken to address the situation at the border, she said, writing off recent administration actions, including adding capacity for health officials to house unaccompanied minors or children who enter the country illegally without an adult. And then Zero Hedges comment as they're doing everything they can to address the problem except reviving the policies that worked just months ago. Yeah, that's exactly it. See, here's the thing. I've been having a hard time. Been thinking through this in my head past few days, but like it seems to me that Republicans hate their party. Yeah, they think that the Republican politicians are awful, and they just hate all of them. And I think that a wide array of the Republican electorate feels this way. The Democrats, on the other hand, well, I see that kind of comments. Like, I hear people saying AOC is actually, you know, a moderate in disguise sort of comments all the time. But it's just, you get that kind of nonsense online all the time. But it seems to me like the Democrats, when I read on Reddit, like their politicians and believe what the propaganda lines that their party gives them, and the Republicans don't. And so I see these things like on the border, and I'm like, does anybody actually believe what Jen is saying? Because this is just absolutely ridiculous how awful this border situation has gotten. And I already feel like they've lost, like the press secretary has lost credibility. Being press secretary is a hard job, man. I was telling everybody was complaining about the press secretary, and I was like, look, it doesn't matter who it is. The press secretary is always the most hated person. Here you go. I'm gonna be right back. Well, I don't think the 19.5 would be a bad entry for a potential upturn, but I don't feel like that for what I'm trying to do that it's worth the risk. Maybe if you were to get 18.5, but at this point, if you were to get filled on that, I don't think it would be a good thing. We could do 19. So a decent amount trading there. No fill. Better if I put it in a little earlier. The E-mini looking bullish there. Nope. 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 You don't want to see it because tick back down and everybody bails at 19. No, thank you. No, thank you. backed. Yeah. Let's see. What do they do at 18.5? That could have been bad. Samuel Samuel says looks like a no trade day. It really does. I don't know. Like that original one, like we could have taken it to 19.5, and then I'm like the way this is trading right now, like that. I don't know. Maybe they'll fill us at 18, but that's gonna be tough with being in the back of the queue, right? And all of the bids at 19 pulled there. Maybe they move up, but I don't want to be involved in when it's doing that. That seems risky. And FOMC is going to be a tough trade too, right? I mean, we got the chance of something just being absolutely crazy. Oh, did I just close that ZB? No. Oh, come on. Okay. It's like, where did the Tom go? No. It's going down another 0.5% for sure, you think? I don't see any desire on their part to move it right now at all. Why would I think that it's going to move down? Not even sure I know why they moved down overnight in the first place. Could all just be noise before FOMC for all we know. Quote unquote, for sure, yeah. The United States is on track to see more individuals arrive at the border than any time in the past 20 years. You think it'll move down to 1,2900? But why do you think that? Because that level looks pretty. Wait, let's come back on the chart here. I mean, 2,900, that's an awfully round number. Seems attractive. I don't know. I just don't see anything. Applications to refinance a home loan fell 4% for the week and were down 39% compared with the same week 1 year ago. Oh, geez. I hope I'm not getting sick. That was what I just coughed up there was not what you want to see. It was a little green. I definitely felt like at the moment. And I think it's just because I didn't sleep well. But at the moment, I feel like I'm going to pass out. Rona's revenge? Nah, I mean... That could just be gunk from overnight. I don't know. had a pretty good breakfast too, so I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and eat some carbs. I haven't gotten a shot because I caught coronavirus back in January, and the recommendation is that you not get the shot if you've had it, because you could have a more serious adverse reaction to it. So I will be waiting probably until April or May. Germany has been seeing a sharp rise in coronavirus cases in the recent weeks. Increases dollar strength, maybe. Well, yeah, I mean, the issue is that Europe was not as effective at developing the vaccine, according to an article that I was reading earlier this morning. And vaccine skepticism is higher in in Europe, apparently, which I was just shocked to hear. So, wait, is that the picture of the where they hold the FOMC meetings? Is that what it looks like? I always thought it was a room with stained oak walls, That's way prettier. That chair, though. Is that, I wonder where did that picture come? Where did they get that picture from? You're going to try it short. Okay. Well, I can see there, if I was going to take it long, maybe I would take it at 18. But seeing volume there also kind of makes me like skeptical, It looks like maybe they'll want to buy it up here now. Yeah, if you made me pick on ES, I think I'd probably be long too. Not at that price though. That was a horrible. I didn't. I listen. I'm not sure if I'm all there. I'm gonna go and like get a drink of Gatorade or something. Maybe I just got low blood, but I'm just like I feel floaty. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, let's see here. Now I'm hearing something on the squawk about blood clots again. Our math suggests that the dollar index currently trading near 92 equates to a spot fair value price of $63.10 BBL. What does that stand for? By this macro metric, the current WTI, barrels, okay. Current WTI is pricing at a value given spot levels near 64.50. Clearly, we realize that macro relationships are far from linear, but for modeling purposes, each big figure change in Dixie equates to an inverse relation swing of $2.62 per barrel. For example, if DXY trading 91 associates with 65.23, a 90 Dixie represents 67.84. Assessing monthly pricing observations over the past 10 years, the Dixie has averaged 88.98 with WTI clocking in at 69.61. Such levels are in line with the linear relationship given that our model suggests fair's value of $70. Simply put, this historical relationships are holding in well. Okay, so the long in the 10-year maybe wasn't so bad. So off of the iceberg at 18 and get out at 19.5 maybe? That's a super short scalp for what we've been getting lately though, you know? Getting long at 41 so that when the more Okay, wait. I'll join with you. Okay. Not terrible. Oh, is Tesla down 2.8%? 655. That doesn't sound very good, does it? VW up 7%. It is just going to be so poetic if Volkswagen is what kills the Tesla bubble. You know? A little bit early to be calling that one, but BlackRock's writer, Fed accommodation is too high now, reports CNBC. Well, the number of contracts that have traded so far since we got in this, I think, is too many. I think this VW Tesla narrative has a chance of taking hold. I do too. I'm just knowing why it's moving and then seeing the price movement. It's certainly not something that you can just ignore, right? I'm sure that the guys in Tesla would just bat it off and be like, but they don't have Daddy Elon, that sort of a thing. But the price action suggests that it's a serious thing. And, if Tesla is in a bubble and it pops, it's probably going to drag some indexes with it. I'm gonna get out. So like I was saying, like the number of contracts that have traded here is too many for the volatility and liquidity that we have. Yeah. No, so you gotta. We should not touch it. Like save it for FOMC. Oh, I showed you this chart, right? Maybe you should need to get on Discord so I can give it to you. Preserve capital, yeah. So I never put this one on any of my charts because I thought, I can just spitball it. But now that it matters, if we look at the Alice thing, we assume a 2-point target over the last hour. Okay, look at that. 600 contracts. So now think about how our trade went. We got in something like 1,000 contracts traded up, and then it didn't reach our target, and they all kind of spat, puked lower, right? The volatility isn't enough for us to take our edge. Well, we could take it, but we saw too many people get on afterwards, right? How do you guys use the VIX? So I have a video about it. And in that video, I link to a trading view indicator. And you could look at the logic that I use for the trading view indicator. Obviously, I wish I had taken that short Manel. Yeah, but you can just see it. Do you see it here in the volume right here? Zoop, zoop. There's the people getting in. It was too many. They're pushed lower. So, does that mean, well, I guess we could have gone short, but does that mean that we want to be short overall? Not necessarily. because it could flip back up again really easily. The one that I'm regretting is not taking the long in the ZN. I guess it would be hard for me to know. But I had the right thesis and everything. I think I wasn't confident in the trade, and I certainly wasn't confident in the liquidity, so I didn't take it. And I guess that's so well. I guess considering I still don't feel myself, I shouldn't be clicking. I guess I will try it though. I do it anyways. Looks like ZN is likely to go even higher. Well, they didn't really stand in front of them, did they? Nope. Okay. My last try. It sure does look like it wants to turn up, though. Just it might take a while. I'm just gonna relax, be quiet here for a little bit, and try and... Well, maybe I should keep talking because I don't want to fall asleep, but... It's also slow. Well, yeah, the thing is, though, is that when the E-mini opens up, we might get some more volatility, and then we could take advantage of that, so... Right now, the market is such that you can see that anytime it starts to get going on one thing, it just kind of falls. The volume is just too low for our edge. Hmm. 10-year yield at 2.25% could happen this year, Wells Fargo Securities' Michael Schumacher says. He lays out his prediction ahead of the Fed's interest rate decision. Mexico is doing more to secure our southern border than Biden is because Biden doesn't want to admit that he was dead wrong about everything on border security and Trump was right about everything on border security. U.S. House Republican caucus expected to vote Wednesday on whether to reverse ban on earmarks. Oh, are they going to? Oh, that would be interesting. So that one's interesting because our moving, that 10-minute moving average came down into it instead of price coming up into it. So that one is a weird behavior. Got a text message? Why would somebody call or message me this? Oh, Proton Mail. Interesting. Yeah, it was the investment research. They put me on their mailing list, but they didn't email me the article that I asked for. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but... Teladoc falls 7% as Amazon Care 2 launch nationwide. I'm surprised that, I mean, wasn't it always assumed that that was going to go nationwide? At some point, I mean, it's good for the stock, but you would have thought that his competitors would have been obliterated long before that. White House says National Security Council convene meeting on Monday of task force on Microsoft Exchange vulnerabilities. Ooh. Dude, if there's a serious Microsoft Exchange vulnerability and everybody's email is available, man, that could be nasty for Microsoft. Okay. So about 5 minutes to the open still. Treasuries seem to be pushing higher. still pretty flat. The treasuries do look pretty healthy on the upside, though. A good amount going into 22 there. 1400. That 5-year kind of seems to be a key driver, too. Okay. There was a bit of an attempt short there that seems to have failed. See, now I'm finding it hard to keep my eyes straight. Or to keep my eyes from rolling in the back of my head. Okay. So the 10-year did drop down a few ticks, but it's still pretty healthy absorption on the bids, so. Were you on baby watch? No. So what happened was he just woke up. I don't know what time it was, but it felt like it was like from midnight until 6 a.m. He was just up. And wouldn't leave us alone and wouldn't go back to sleep. Okay, there's the open. So there is a little bit of buying on the open I can see there. Oh, actually it looks like the delta is negative though. Here's your setup ace. Okay, busting that regular session high. Well, that one's not turning out either. In fact, that turned pretty hard on us, didn't it? Not sure who you are, but it's been okay. Actually, we've been doing really well lately. Not this morning. This morning has been constrained, but okay. I guess they just want a short. Thing is they're letting them have their way with it, but it's not a very strong short there. We chatted a while ago about market impact. Oh, I don't remember that. I would have thought that I would remember that though. Well, today as market impact seems to have mattered because all of those spots before, you could see that once they hit about the level that the number of contracts that I calculate should matter, they would sputter out and flip. What time is JPOW up? That happens at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Great, 1 a.m. my time. Oh man, really? Is it that late for you? Oh, you must be like way further. But yeah, like 4.5 hours from now. Okay. Hmm. Well, they're trying to dig it out there. There's a bit of volume coming through in 39, 31 now. Mm-hmm. Well, they're getting down to that low, but shying away from it just a little. Not really getting the market buying that you'd need, though. In the E-mini, I'm not so sure. But in the treasury here, I've been seeing a clear upside bias, and it was my swap. The E-mini here, it looks bearish. I mean, the volume is clearly bearish, but I just don't see what justifies that much bearishness, you know? And the book doesn't seem to be suggesting to me that it's one-sided. So, yeah, sure enough, they have some potential to flip back up. It's going to be volatile, I guess. I guess this isn't, relatively speaking, this isn't that volatile, but, you know, they're like breaking both sides of the range here now. Why do you favor ES over T-notes? Well, I don't necessarily. I actually think that my trading has been better in the Treasury notes lately, but I can risk less in the E-mini, so E-micros, so that's my main thing. Okay, so there was a break of that end of the range and a bit of stop orders coming in when they did it. Okay. There's a little bit of flakiness going on in the level 2 in the treasury here. Switching between 20 and 20.5. See if they flip through it as easily as they did before. Well, there you go. That flipped awfully quick. Good. And a pretty clear take when they did it too. Although that could be the 5-year leading in. Let's see. There's the E-mini shying away from the open so far. Bank of America says no good reason to own Bitcoin except price appreciation. Well, why did the Zero Hedge post a picture of Captain Picard, though? Should they make micro ZNs? Probably not, but if they did, I would trade them. It just seems to me that there's plenty of liquidity in the 10-year treasury as it is. So there's a good amount of volume came in there when they broke the open. And I would suspect that if they're able to get above 39 or so, that there should be more stops. Ooh, look at that strong bid show up there. Do you look at bid ask imbalances when trying to see if stop orders were taken out? No. So the truth is on the stop orders in the ES that I don't really have a good way of telling that they were really stop orders. But when I look at a previous pivot or a key level like an open get taken out and there's like a bunch of volume comes through afterwards, my assumption is that those are stop orders. So I don't know. But I am watching how much trades at each level, right? Like if it goes through an area and only like 30, well, so in that instance, 34 traded on that 39, 38.50, right? Like something changed there, right? All of a sudden people wanted it a lot more. So that's kind of how I try to judge it. But I guess the if there was one key part of, an edge to looking at level 2 that I'm willing to share, it's that when orders pull and they push through a price on very little volume, that can matter a lot, because that's saying that the market making models are saying that the volume is enough for them to readjust where they want to provide liquidity at. Matters a great deal. Now that alone maybe just gets you break even, but so everybody always focuses on the big orders, and I don't really think that's where it's at. Well, good upside there. There's still this area from before the open that they need to get through, but okay, so a pretty good excursion on the upside, but coming back to the open again. Pretty good amount of volume trading back and forth there. Democrat representative calls it voter suppression to ban individuals from voting in different states in the same election. All House Dems, including party chair, vote against bill prohibiting voter casting multiple ballots in the same election. What? That's in Alabama. That's ridiculous. Good morning. Charles Wainwright. Pompeo to address New Hampshire Republicans as 2024 speculation grows. I think that, it's sounding like Pompeo might be a strong contender for president, yes. Okay, so 19.5 bid pulled in the 10-year. So a little slump there. Buyers seem to be pushing back against it, but I don't know. So let's take a closer look at this area here. They seem to be getting the liquidity that they want here around the open. The sellers do look a tad bit more aggressive. Volkswagen is the new Tesla, is the new Volkswagen. Okay, so double little dip there and now a pivot higher. It's turning into a bit of a battle here. Sellers will eat through that buy side liquidity like my mom eats marshmallows. You say so. The volume imbalance looks pretty equal at the moment, at least. Yay. Wait, is it Matrix State today? Shows you how much I follow that crap. Oh, I need to change the date. Thank you. Okay. Especially when I look on the ES side, it looks like some bullish volume is coming in, but then when I look at the cumulative delta, it's kind of flat. So it's being a little deceptive right now. But either way, I would say it's probably like splitting hairs, you know? It's not significant enough to really matter. They did trade through 19.5 in the 10-year, though. That's kind of a change. Okay, so now that was a little bit more bullish. Actually, that was a lot more bullish. It looks like that kind of equalized the imbalance, though, so it might have just been short covering. Another seeming breakout of buy volume. Shorts still seem to have the advantage. Oh, he's very stubborn. Tick is negative. There must have been some individual issues taking dives there, causing those moves. Like, I'm noticing every time that the long comes in, you start getting relatively large bars. Interesting. Oh man, bulls recovered that so quickly. I don't know if it's enough, but that's interesting. Although on the other hand, I'm kind of surprised that when we got that last up push that they didn't go and break the high. So I mean, was that enough to break the shorts? I don't think so, but it sure is a compelling battle, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Okay. So we're out of that one without too much damage. We'll just keep I'll just keep going here. We'll see. You did say that, but you know what? I don't like you, so goodbye. Okay. So here they going for the Tesla low again. I guess I could say, the thing is that the volume never really came through to the long side, did it? But considering how much it's been short, they're not really getting a whole lot for it, are they? Okay. So they didn't take the new low yet. Yeah. It looks like they're reading that as a failure to break the lows. NDA crashed on you? Due to an indicator thing. Yeah, print something out in your logs or whatever? Yeah, them shorts still not done, it seems. Why is ES flowing in Q? I think you meant to say following. I don't know. Looks like the ES is seeing a little bit of weakness compared to NQ though. No, those guys I consult for wanted me to try an order flow indicator. Oh yeah, you really need a better machine to do order flow stuff. I mean, with as much order flow stuff as my machine is running right now, it's starting to have a hard time keeping up. I need to upgrade. Just tick replay on ES is expensive. So back to the open again. Some indies ain't optimized. Well, it's just the tick. I'm telling you. So whenever I do back, tests, it doesn't matter how complicated my indicator is. The most expensive part is the tick replay. Every time. Like when you consider how often the best bid and best ask change in the ES, and then you're running an algorithm that basically checks that every time it changes. Yeah, it won't fire back up. What? Curious. So they did make a higher pivot high, but wasn't like a high of the day like I think the bulls want, right? Okay, so we did finally get a little bit of a turn up there in the treasuries, so that's good. I'll take one off there at 20.5 if I can. And still fight at the open, man. It could just do this all day, I'm starting to wonder if this battle here is really that compelling, or if it's just sucking me in because it's FOMC and everything. And sometimes they have a way of doing that when there's no real reason to trade. Somehow they're able to make the action behave in a way that you still really want to get involved. Okay, so there's the open. Oh, cool. And they did let me take a contract off at 20.5. Wake up, Seth. Wake up. What happened? I don't know if anything really happened. It's just chopping. It sure seems like they're going to break one side of this and we're going to push. I think that they're going to push the highs, but it just keeps chopping around and doing nothing. Cool. So I'm trying to take advantage of that a little bit more. They stopped selling at least. It's. I mean, there. Yeah, I would probably say that the volume is about equal right now for the moment over the past 10 minutes, but they haven't started like buying either per se. It looks like that sellers are a little bit more prone to pulling their orders at the moment. But the cumulative delta is not turning positive either. So yeah, they're fiddling. It really is like. But you know, like how often does it happen like that? Where like the sellers come out and they're pushing really hard and the sellers just look so strong and then eventually they sputter out and it moves higher. I mean, that it seems like that happens every day now, right? Okay, well, that was a really encouraging bar. It's still not to the regular session high yet. Is the NQ flying? I can see that the ES compared to NQ is looking weak. And this could cycle up too. So when you look at my inventory indicator here on this, You almost never see it that close, right? They were crossing back and forth multiple times. But when you look at this, buyers absorbed a lot of contracts down there. A lot of contracts. So, if they were to break the high, I think that they probably do have enough, and I'm going to guess, given the context, that a lot of this is just traders going to trade. So if we do break the high, I think that you're going to get a little bit of fuel. Well, we should go and take a look at the larger macro outlook at the moment. I can see that the oil has bounced a little bit off of 63.80. Silver, silver and gold are still mostly sideways today. Actually, well, silver's doing okay, but gold took a little bit of a dive and recover over here. So that's really interesting. The dollar, also just all over the place, but at the moment heading down. Yeah, your trader's gonna trade mug. Yes, sir. Polish government announces nationwide lockdown. That's no good. Okay. Look at the treasury there. If I would be as lucky. But with it moving up like that, I think that should be pretty supportive to equities, don't you think? Still constrained, still not seeing the cumulative delta turn positive. I do think that the Treasury is pushing up here very aggressively, I might add, although it appears that it's the 5-year that's really driving it, and nobody's really standing in the way of the 5-year. That should be supportive to equities. Who knows why they're trading the way that they are? You are deep in the money sets. That's funny. Well, I'm still not happy with it. Not in the E-mini. I mean, because I spent a lot to do that, right? What I did was I saw that it was just going nowhere, so I decided to start using market making to take it 2 or 3 times there and build up some profit, with the hopes of being able to take on enough risk to see this through to it breaking the high. We'll see if it ever actually does it. I mean, it looks awfully close here, doesn't it? Still not seeing cumulative delta come in long yet, but maybe it will start to do so as they break the high. Yeah, so there's the high of the day and not new high yet. That's a new high. So there was a few orders that stopped out as soon as they hit that. Looks like a little bit of profit taking here, though. So it went 1 tick higher, maybe 100 contracts stopping out. I'm certain there is a lot more than that, but they're going to have to push further. You should buy a racehorse? I do find horse racing interesting, but... Okay. Ooh, there's a good stack there on that uptick. Defended, yep, okay. Still pretty sluggish, though, actually. It does look like pretty good buying at this distribution zone at 39.40, but when I'm talking about a new high, I'm talking about the regular session. Yeah. The cash session, I think, what is the high of the cash session? It's like way up there, right? The high of the cash session is up in like the 60s. For this recovery, though, just for like a natural kind of recovery, I would expect to see some of this down move recovered, and so we could probably make it to 39.45 or so. We are going to get the crude oil inventories here in a few minutes, so actually in about 45 seconds. Lindsey Graham tweets Biden has lost control of the U.S.-Mexico border. Well, now that Lindsey is pushing it. Oh, that's interesting. Did you see there at 123 and 23 quarter? in the 5-year that 29, 28 printed there on the sell side, and you're not actually seeing it tick up. So somebody is actually actively selling it back there. I did not understand your answer, Seth. Could you be more specific? When I've been saying here new high, that was a new regular session high, not the extended session high. Okay, so it looks like there was a build and crude oil is falling there. And E-mini may be falling a little bit as in sympathy, maybe. And I'm seeing a lot of news squawk stuff about how Volkswagen is the new Tesla. Zero Hedge is just absolutely giddy about it. Actually, I'm kind of happy too. I'm kind of sitting here thinking, like, should I be buying Volkswagen right now? Like, just because I hate Tesla so much? I don't hate Tesla. It's just that stock was so clearly overdone. That stock is so clearly overdone. Well, I guess the spot where I wanted to take one contract off was up there. And they're putting the pressure on. It looks like I'm going to get my fill in the 10-year. Ouch. So still a lot of short volume, market short volume. Okay, yeah, and I got out there. Well, that's funny. They broke the high and now almost, I mean, so quickly here, less than 5 minutes, pushing lows again. I'm really happy with my treasury trade. Oof, okay. And now buying, and now are they going to push back just as hard on the buy side? Well, it sure doesn't take much, does it? Okay. Like, I really wish I had reduced my risk earlier, but okay. Well, one of my robots went short, but if this turns out to be, another push up to the highs, he's going to be unhappy. Did you? I definitely outperform my robots. There must be something wrong because my robots did just fine the other day, and now today, not taking any trades again. And I don't have them on the chart, so I can't really see what's going on, but it looks like I've introduced an error somewhere. And I have some of them, I've taken them off just because these other ones were so expensive that I wanted to just focus on those for a little bit. So I've got the one that tends to do best and takes a little bit longer of trades. Didn't do very well today. He had a loser, one loser, and then he's in one right now that I think is going to be a loser at least. And then our star, Gabby, just hasn't taken a trade today. She just hasn't gotten her setup. Are you running them on June contracts? I am. I'm running Jay on micros. I don't know why it's not taking a trade. I really don't. I tell you what, though, this action around the open is just getting really frustrating. Bank of America, we find that Bitcoin's energy consumption is comparable to that of major U.S. corporations like American Airlines, the largest airline in the world that flies over 200 million people a year, or even the federal U.S. government, which employs more than 2 million people. Wow, really? Yeah, well, they have a filter that dealing with the level 2, and I can't exactly see what the filter is saying at the moment, so I don't know why it's not taking trades. Gabby's probably getting her hair dyed green. I hear she has plans with Joseph for later tonight. They're going out to dinner for cabbage and green. Yeah, well, it's you would think that she would have gotten some of her setups today, but they haven't been doing it. they've been trying to make some of those slips happen, but the market makers, it appears to me that the market makers have been more than happy to make a market here. So I don't want to say a money machine. I'm having a hard time in the E-mini today. I've had so many good trades that I didn't take profits on, and I feel like we're mismanaged. The 10-year trade was great, but the E-mini, it's not. I've had my moments, but I have this set up so I can really take a lot of risk on it, but and again, cumulative delta has never really turned to buying. So I suppose that if we turned here and had another pivot up, that could definitely do something. If there was a failure to break a new low. It sure looks like it's going to do it, though. Yep. Feeling sleepy again. BMO strategist finds market signs that only develop ahead of major corrections. Oh dear. Okay, so there's some volume there. At 39.29. Pretty aggressive pushback too, I would say. Although it's a little, I'd say it's a little iffy. We'll try it here. Universal's Islands of Adventure reaches capacity for third straight day. Wow. There's a Universal Parks News Today is a Twitter account, apparently. Okay, a little bit lower there. Okay. No, it's a real dumpster fire. And note that the treasury is coming down as it happens. Okay. So I was going to do this wide range chop, maybe reversal thing here down at the bottom, I bet. Oh, did the ruble change on that comment that Biden made? Huh. I did see his comments. He sure thinks it's important that he lets Putin know that he doesn't like him. I don't think it'll change anything. That don't look so good. Well, I don't want to. E-mini just been such a tough customer today. Did I? Well, I had like that huge winner, but then, I wanted to put the risk on. Well, it's okay. Made way more in that treasury trade, but I'm kind of part of me is like, I want to trade this because I know what kind of an action it is, and I think that I might learn something from it. But on the other hand, it's not the best opportunity, And really, my issue has been trying to let them run, right? 'Cause, 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 'c Well, I tell you what, when you look at the overnight and everything else, it's kind of starts to look like an ugly, ugly chart, doesn't it? When we go back to this volume profile from before, do we approach, well, not quite. A push to 3,900, a push below 3,900 would be very concerning. Can you sing? No. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to sing. Look at that. They're going to come back up on me. Yeah. Ouch. Well, that right there at 30 might have been a little bit of a stop run. No, is the Treasury basing here and going to go higher again? It sure looks like it is. Zero Edge asks, what time does Citadel get the 2023 dot? Does that mean he's getting bored? Okay. This does kind of look like it's going to bounce hard. Border Patrol prevented from talking to media, says report from the Hill. Are you noticing that the border stories are picking up now? Like the media is picking up on it as something that people want covered. Hmm. Hmm. So this right here is chippy action, huh? You get like good excursions on either side, but then like it very quickly comes back to the middle. Hmm. Looks like they're gonna turn down for another push. No? Maybe? Yeah, that sure is. Hmm. Yeah. Look at that. Jeez. Not pretty. It looks like you are the only one on the market amongst all the robots. Probably. But that's why I'm trying to, you notice that I'm taking a bunch of contracts and I'm trying to market make it. Trying to like get a little bit and then let something run. Looks like I already overstayed my welcome on that short. Do you recommend Jigsaw to be more profitable? I don't think that the software that you use is what's going to determine how profitable you are, but I do think that Jigsaw is a good platform to execute on. The edge is going to be you, not the software. Oh, man. Pretty aggressive down push there again. They didn't break it, but let's it off. So what we saw there, I actually think is pretty good for long, assuming that we don't get another big order pressuring us down. So now at 39.29, more volume trading through there than we did in the 32 area. I guess the 32 area is kind of where we fell through, and it's not until 34 or so that we spent so much time. That baby sounds tired. And I bet your mom's tired too. Maybe they take a 10 o'clock nap. Well, it looked like that several times that the shorts were trying to put pressure on it to make it break the low again, and they backed off. So I'm still not seeing like cumulative delta turn positive, but we could get a bit of a recovery here, yeah. Okay. How many? I've been awfully quiet. We still got you guys here with me? Oh, yeah, pretty good. 32. Thank you for sticking with me here. I hope you're not watching because I'm not, or thinking like, Seth, we should really pay attention to how he's trading now. I'm messing around with a range bound market trying to build out a position. I'm campaigning here, so not something I would necessarily recommend doing unless you're able to take on a lot of risk, right? You can hear the baby. Yeah, he's not. He sounds cranky. I'm sweaty just watching. I know. I mean, I mean, the thing is that when I had it up at the high of the day, I looked like a rock star, didn't I? It just kind of shows you how you can, when you're taking on excessive risk, you can see how it works out, right? When you're doing well, it's like amazing and you'll do well all the time. But then those few times that you do poorly, it just destroys you. And that's kind of what I've been doing is I've been playing my edge when it works well in the E-mini, and then when it's not working well, I just take on more risk. Yes, but which software can give some more visibility on the market? Well, I think that when you're looking at the DOM, you see everything, right? So whichever software you choose for the DOM, I use Jigsaw. I have an affiliate link for Jigsaw, so of course I'm biased, but I think that Jigsaw has the best DOM, and that's why I use it. So that's good. Okay. And that gave me what I wanted for the day, or what I felt like I should have had. So the treasury trade just keeps working out great, right? But I just have to remind myself that, like, I don't think I can really trade like that. Like when I do it, and I'm like, man, if I was market making for an institution, I wouldn't be half bad at this. But when I'm really want to just trade one contract, it doesn't work. Yeah, I started limiting myself to one contract MES per 1,000? Really? Are you actually trade testing or actually sim trading? I would say kind of both, but more sim trading today. To be honest with you, because remember we were saying like, oh, I don't really want to take any trades, and then you saw that I was starting to take a lot, right? So after like those first two, so took one before two before the open, and those didn't work out, and then I got that first one on the open, and that didn't work, right? So at that point I was done, right? That was when I turned into, okay, let's try campaigning. So you can see when you campaign, especially in a market like this where it's moving, but the market is clearly waiting on something else to really do what it wants to do. You can make it back. Right. I just have to stress to you that what I did is not something that I would have done on a live account. No way. Your nose grows long when you say that. When I say what? I'm being like more honest than I really need to be with you guys, aren't I? The question is still, if I was taking that live, would I have stopped there? Yeah. Oh, when I say that I sim trade, listen, if I'm down and I'm trading 5 contracts, that's definitely on sim. Okay. if I'm doing that and it's a live account, then I get what I deserve. And I have done that before, haven't I? Not with 5 contracts, but I have like doubled down when I'm down. Would you make less trades? Yeah, I would. I would probably say, I don't know if I would have taken any trades on a live account today. Maybe with the FOMC. But yeah, actually, that's absolutely what I would be doing. The thing is that FOMC after the initial move can provide so much opportunity that I usually will go for it and take a reckless trade and have fun, with it. But before it, maybe 1 or 2 and then done. Especially if it's like the first 2 are losers, then no reason to waste more capital. HF says, I don't know. Yeah. No, so here's the thing is that I have a big wad of cash sitting there waiting to blow. And I just still don't feel confident in the ES, even though this past month has been really good in ES, right? But there's things here and there. It's like there's these days where like I just barely got away, and I don't feel like that should have happened. Do you know what I mean? Or places where I traded it and it wasn't too tight, and if I was on live, like the impact might be enough. It's that sort of a thing. Why trade your money when you can without? Well, I mean, it's I I would be lying if I don't sit and think that sometimes, HF. Or I'm like, well, we can just trade sim forever. Why not? But yeah, I take it seriously. Like for instance, we got like all this stimulus money and stuff. I don't need that money, so why not blow it on futures? But then I feel like that because it was from stimulus that I'm obligated to use it in a way that I believe will be the most beneficial to the economy. So that means that I need to like invest it for real. So but it didn't waste that stuff. Why not use the combine? Well, because this is I might put Gabby on a combine. We'll see. I suppose that I could try doing a combine and with doubling down and stuff. I don't want to teach people to go and do combines and take on excessive risk. That's why every time I do this, I'm talking about it, because it's like, well, it worked and I was taking on excessive risk to test out certain theories, but I don't think that you should trade that way. Right? Yeah, I want it at least 2 months. So the thing is I think that I've got like a good month of pretty good profitability under our belts here on micros, but I don't think that the stats are quite what they should be. Yeah. You just take risk to qualify. I could do that. I really probably could. I don't know. One of the issues is that when I look through and I like try back testing certain things where I just straight up take on excessive risk, those back tested strategies don't work out either. So it's like, why bother passing the combine if you know that you're just going to blow up later? Right? I would much rather trade the right way with my own money. Yeah? Would much rather do that. And I feel like I can do that. I do feel like I can do that. It's just there's certain situations like here today. So can I break it out to can I make it to back to break even? Yes. But is it worth it for the amount of risk that I have to put on? No. So I'm learning something about the spots that I want to know more about. Yes. But I'm also learning more about how much risk I want to take on, and the answer to that is no. No, I don't. You wouldn't blow up if you just reduce size? Maybe. But then if that's the case, why wouldn't I just trade my own account? Ever feel too much pressure? Oh, I feel way less pressure doing a combine. like especially the combine, which is still just a sim account. Like I did the combine enough times that I could probably pass a combine just by cheating the sim. You just go in, trade 4 contracts on the E-mini, right? Go and put it at a price really far away that you know has some support in the past. And when it touches it, it will say that you're filled, and then just immediately get out and take the 4 ticks. And just do that over and over again, and you could pass the combine. Because their sim does not factor the Q in. So you trade the 10-year and cheat the Q. You could. It would be really tedious, but you could do it. In trading is by the time you would have sim traded something for 3 days, by the third day you would have refined it to extend that. No, so I've been using the same general principles for all of my trades over the past month. I think when you get into a day like today, part of the thing is that I still have to choose a bias, and my bias was obviously long, which is okay. I could have taken some profits earlier and managed that. So I think that's really the correct answer. Is like, if you're in a position and it's working out well, even though the cumulative delta is against you, you need to reduce your risk. If you had 500K, would you trade with? I would trade with some of it, maybe. Not sure what you mean by that. Anyways, I stick to my plan, and so even though we've been doing well, there's still a couple of places to focus on, and there's still a couple of places to learn, and I think that I learned a few of the, kind of picked up a few of them today, right? Oh, why don't you put them in at 6 p.m. Eastern time so you get a good place in line? I don't know if that would actually get me a good place in line. That's an interesting thought, though, Kyle. If you knew it was a price. The thing is that for me, I usually can't see that price until I've seen it trade recently, Like if it's a price that traded like 30 minutes ago, then it kind of doesn't matter as much to me. But you'll notice that I was trying to be at the bottom of those profiles. So what was happening was I was seeing spots where there appeared to be some struggle for liquidity, and so I was trying to play it around those with the longer side buys. If I had 500K, I would trade with 100 contracts and go. Nah, so I don't. So it would have to be a place where you know that a lot of volume is going to trade. And I don't think that putting the orders in early in the open would get you a good enough spot. Like for the combine simulator, it's like if you've been sitting there for 30 minutes and it trades it at all, it thinks you're at the front of the queue. It seems easier to trade with more money. Oh, well. So let me back up. Here's the thing that am I trying to teach? Or maybe I'm just trying to remind myself. It is easier to make money in the short term by taking on a lot of risk. But it is more difficult to make money long term taking on a lot of risk, right? So if I do some of those strategies where you take on a lot of risk, you're going to get a high win rate, and you're going to be able to, claw it back. So what I'm doing is I'm using some of these principles about where I place my orders, even if the flow is going against me, so that on average I can still break even, right? Using the Kyle model. That requires a lot of risk. And for a large firm, they can afford to take on that amount of risk because in the end, they will break even, right? But for me, I am never going to have $1 million of risk to take on. Probably not. I have $1 million of risk to take on. So for me, when I start trading those strategies, I can do it to keep trading and maybe to learn some things about certain locations, really short-term stuff, to keep myself engaged. Like I take the trade, I'm going to pay attention to the flow more, right? But the downside to it is, are you developing a habit, right? Are you developing a bad habit that when you get on the live account, you're going to take it? Because in the past, I've done that, right? So the skill that I'm worried about is my ability to really truly say, yeah, I should have stopped there and stop. Right. Or it's kind of like with A saying, take 2 points. Okay, but what if you lose 3 times in a row right at the beginning and you've lost at that point 6 points? Do you stop? Do you make it back? And how do you deal with that? And that's the place where I think I've struggled in the past. Yeah. Especially when you know that taking on the extra risk, you can make it back more easily. But it's in the long run, it's just not the thing to do. Right? So that's why I say it. It's like a good illustration. I feel like that you guys understand how taking on more risk can make money, right? Because we've talked about it so much. The question is, what are appropriate risks to take on, right? So in my opinion, for instance, if you take 2 contracts and you catch a good winner and then you let the second contract run, the way that helps is that it allows you to take on more risk, right? You can then try and swing that with that last contract, and that's how that can be beneficial, right? That to me, I think, is an acceptable risk to take on, right? But doubling the number of contracts that you trade and taking a smaller contract, is that an acceptable risk to take on? In my experience, it's not. Even though it seems like very rare that I've had those, even if I had equal risk reward, that those win against me. But yeah, we should know when to take a risk and when to not. So another one is like, if I have a piece of news and I'm really certain about what direction it's going to go, even though it's volatile, I'm totally willing to take that risk, right? Or if there's an area where the liquidity has disappeared and I feel that there's no reason for that, I'm willing to take the risk, right? And that's where my strategy, I think, makes money is that I am taking a risk that like robots don't want to take, right? But I know that the risk isn't as high as they think it is. So that's an acceptable risk to take, right? Ultimately, if you're going to make money on short time frames, though, I think part of it is that you have to take on risk. Yeah. So it's not just like when to take risk on and when not to. It's which risks are acceptable and which ones are not. You're long 33. Well, this recovery that we're getting back here is starting to turn into the crazy up move kind of thing. Could turn on you. Could turn back up. In fact, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised now if this turned into the trade that just goes on all day. Yeah. By the way, that last one that I really sized up on went more ticks than any of those other ones earlier today. So even though I was taking on a lot of risk, the number of excursion that I was getting on these actually wasn't high. I was only getting like 16 tick winners. So probably something that I should have done was decrease my targets anyways. And you could see that when I was taking smaller targets, they were working. So that's another takeaway we should probably save with us, right? Need to pay attention to the range a little bit more. I should probably maybe I should change that indicator to be like, here's 2 points and here's 4 points. And yeah. There's still single prints on the market profile at 39.44. sure. I'm going to bet that they come right back to the open before the FOMC, and then we see what happens, right? The problem is I still just don't really know where the bearishness is coming from. There's got to be a fundamental reason that I'm missing from the way that they're behaving. So, is AJ your best friend? Probably. I mean, he's not. I don't see him in person, so I don't want to make any of the people that I do feel bad feel. But I probably interact with Ace more than anybody else outside of the house right now. We need the well, I don't know, man. One of the things is that when am I going to go back to the gym? Because I haven't been going to I've been working out at home, and that was kind of like my social group. And I just don't want to drive all the way down there. And I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to that schedule or what. Anyways, it's time for me to get going, guys. I will see you guys later for FOMC. I'm going to try and be super serial. I'm super serial, guys. Super serious about FOMC. So that's the one that matters. So we'll see you guys in about 3.5 hours. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.